What's up, guys? This is Jimmy with Hifly Fitness, and today I want to talk to you about one of the most incorrect assumptions that novice athletes and strength coaches have about the novice athlete, and that is the issue of mobility work and mobility as the mobility that their clients and their trainees have as a beginner athlete. Now, you may be thinking, oh, you're just preaching some college stretch bullshit that you can't stretch before your workout, or you need to stretch an hour before your workout. Well, that's not necessarily what I'm saying. However, I am saying it's a very major issue and it needs to be dealt with immediately. When you start a beginner program, when you start getting into health and fitness and you start getting into strength training, you really want to increase your strength and you really want to get strong. And this is a big problem because the vast majority of the novice athletes out there don't have the mobility required to perform the basic three movements: the squat, the bench, and the deadlift. And why are these three movements the most important for determining your mobility? Well, if you can perform a full depth squat, that means that the hip crease, the crease that you make with your hip is below the knee joint, then that means you have a below parallel squat, or you have depth, two depth squat. If you have the mobility to do that, that's great. If you don't, like most people won't when they start this, then you're going to need to take a lot longer to start your strength training program. And why do I say this? Why do I want you to wait to make strength gains? Well, if you don't wait and you start your program and you increase the weight, you're going to most likely increase your risk of injury, because when you have a lack of mobility to perform a full range of motion squat, bench, or deadlift, you're increasing the weight that your body is at the moment designed to handle. You're increasing the load in your knees. You're stopping below where the muscles can handle, so you're stopping before your stretch reflex, and that takes a lot of the load out of your knees. And when you stop the range of motion before necessary, you're increasing the load in your joints, that whatever it is, a squat, bench, or the deadlift. Most likely it's a squat and the bench, but if you can perform the squat correctly, most likely you'll be able to perform the deadlift correctly, at least full range of motion. It's pulling the bar off the ground, so there's other issues there, but if you can fix your mobility for your squat and your bench, the deadlift will most likely be able to be performed successfully. A lot of people want to increase their weight initially, and they want to squat 315 within 3 months of training, so they get super hyped. Everyone on the bodybuilding forums are telling them that they're too weak, they haven't made the progress that they should have been making in the time that they have been allotted. Well, the problem is they don't focus on the mobility that they should have been focusing on. It might take about a month to get proper mobility to do and allow yourself to perform the squat correctly. And I really am emphasizing the squat because most people have the most trouble getting depth with the squat. It's something that is not ingrained into our society. We don't ever get low enough into a squat unless you're really strength training. When is really an example of performing a squat, a body weight squat? When do you do that? Well, you don't. Our ancestors, when they took shits, that's when they got into that squat position. Well, we have toilets and we don't ever get that low, so our hip flexors are chronically tight. We're chronically sitting down, which is just increasing the tightness of all the joints and all the muscles and all the tendons around the joint. And it's not allowing novices to progress initially where they should be. So if this is a problem for you, I highly recommend getting a lacrosse ball, a foam roller, doing some dynamic work, dynamic stretching, which is constant movement of the in and around the muscle, performing body weight squats. So if you can't perform the squat correctly, I highly recommend you work on body weight squats until you can perform it to depth, which means that the hip crease is below the knee joint, and then you can start increasing weight from there. I have plenty of videos that I'll show you guys on my YouTube channel and on my blog about how to increase the mobility. Those will be coming in the future. Now, I just really want to emphasize, don't get too down on yourself. This is going to take time, and if you want to be consistent with your training, you got to be consistent with your mobility work. And most of my clients that I've had have taken about a month or two almost to get their mobility to the point where they can perform the squat correctly while getting strong enough. So you have two options. You can either start with mobility work for about a month before and do it every single day, do those body weight squats, get to depth, hopefully ass to grass, meaning your butt literally can't go any lower and you're not falling over, and then you come back up. Or you can start the program, be okay with some stalls here and there within the program, and once you stall, you can figure out where your tightness and your weaknesses are coming from and address mobility from there. So hopefully you like those options. If not, you can contact me. You can go on my website, hiflyfitness.com. I'll have plenty of mobility drills that you can do to increase your body weight squat, allow yourself to get to proper form, proper depth, everything you need.